Hey there, Libra. This is your video for 2016, and this video specifically is for those Libras who were born between September 23rd and October 3rd, so about the first 10 days there of Libra. So I'm doing this for every single sign. I'm splitting every sign up into three parts, which are the decans in astrology. It's, again, about every 10 days for each sign. And I'm doing this to make the videos a little bit more specific and a little bit more accurate for everybody's sign for the year of 2016. Also, you can feel free to watch all three videos. They're all going to be accurate. I'm sure even in the other two videos that aren't about your birth date are going to be still have some things that are probably going to be true for you. To find those videos or to find the date video that you should be watching, just click the description. I have all three videos listed with the dates next to each one, so you can find out which one you're supposed to be watching. But you start off with the Four of Hearts. Again, this is for those Libras that are born September 23rd to October 3rd with this card. Great card. Represents a bunch of stuff. Well, really a bunch of new stuff, and you do have a lot of new things coming in for you. This represents new jobs, new business, traveling for business, traveling for your job, and even selling your home comes up with this card. So a lot of you could be moving this year. It's a big thing with this card. Sometimes, what I'm getting right now is that also this can be a card where you become dependent on somebody else or something else. And this card's asking you to become a little bit more independent, actually, in your life, and to not rely on people so much or anybody, or even, if you receive assistance or something like that, it's asking you to become a little bit more just independent for yourself this year, and you could definitely do that. You could definitely become really independent this year. And if you feel like, you're relying on somebody or something and you want to become more independent, which actually comes up, I think you want to. I think that's the thing. I think that's why it's popping up for some of you, is that you do want to become more independent. You can use this card, again, to build more confidence within yourself, to do that, to get out there and get a job, or do whatever you have to do to become more independent. For some of you, I'm even getting that you're living with somebody you don't want to and you want to leave, or you're living with your parents or something and you want to leave. You could do that this year with all of this. And to kind of back that up, you have the Three of Clubs, which I love this card. It's a card that has quickly grown on me. I've seen it work in people's lives. I used to read this and be like, oh, it's a second chance card, which is what it is. It's about getting second chances. But I read it for people, and I'd never really expect such big changes to come from this card. But again, for all the personal readings I've done, when this card has come up, people always write me back and tell me what happened, and they always get some major second chance to do something that they missed on the first time. Anytime they lost an opportunity to get a job or something like that, it's like it always comes back around, or something very similar comes back around. So the little bit of a challenge, it's not even a challenge, it's just something to remember with this card, is that when you get that second chance, usually you messed up the first time and it didn't go right, or things didn't go the way that you had planned. So now this card, it's like the universe saying, hey, you know what? We want you to do this, being the universe, want you to do this, but you need to prove to us that you learned exactly what you were supposed to the first time around, and that you actually learned, where you went wrong, or that, sometimes it's even just like a prove it. Sometimes, the universe just wants us to prove that we truly want something in our lives, and that's what we have to do with this card, is we kind of have to really prove it. But it is a card of also kind of being, getting your thoughts together and thinking before you do something. So when that second chance comes up, take a couple of seconds, take some time even to think about that second chance when it comes back around. It could be a relationship coming back around, and maybe you are getting that second chance, but maybe at the same time you're like, you know what? I actually hated that relationship. I want nothing to do with that this time around. And maybe that's what the universe is testing you on. Maybe it's testing you on, again, this whole independence thing comes up with that Four of Hearts, which is not how I normally would read that card, but it came in very strongly about being independent. Maybe there was a relationship that came up that wouldn't allow you to be independent. So it's like the universe testing you, saying, do you really want to be independent? And then when you prove it and you don't go back with that person, it allows you to move forward and get past some blocks and things like that. Same thing with the job. I'm just giving examples here of things that could happen with this card. So Again, it's a card of also kind of separating yourself when you get that second chance and be like, okay, do I really want this in the first place? Is it something that I passed on because I didn't want it in the first place? You have to ask those questions with this card. Next, you have the Six of Spades, another one of my, one of my, I wouldn't say favorite cards, but a great card because it represents building momentum in your life, momentum building, things kind of moving forward, finally being able to move forward when you've been stuck. I will say with the Six of Spades, it kind of starts off slow. It's not like a super fast process. It's not like you're just going to get to where you need to go. It'll be, there. It'll be really fast. But it's a card of definitely building things up and things kind of stacking and getting more solid and more secure as well with this card. It's kind of like you also build some strength with this card. It is a card also, it is spiritual. Spades are all spiritual. A lot of the times people are always like, why do you give positive meanings to spades? Well, sometimes I give negative meanings, number one. But number two, spades are spiritual cards. They're not always negative. They represent spirituality. So what does the Six of Spades represent? Well, it represents, represents karma in a lot of ways. All sixes are karma. But this one, the Six of Spades represents karma like that happens immediately. It's kind of like one of those things. Um, kind of like this year, if you do something bad to somebody, it's probably going to turn around and bite you really quickly with this card. So be careful with all those things that you do. And so if you want good things to happen, then do a bunch of good stuff this year for people. Help people out. Do whatever you can with this card because it's kind of one of those cards that delivers the karmic effect rather quickly. It's like that boomerang. A lot of people describe karma as a boomerang. That boomerang is going to go flying out super fast and come back super fast and whack you if you did something wrong. But if you do all good stuff this year, this card, it's just a card that makes sure you're aligned with your morals. And you'll be fine with this card. It is a good card, though, because, again, it builds momentum in our lives. Next, you have the Three of Hearts. Emotional happiness. Three of Hearts is all about emotional happiness, being emotionally happy. A lot of happiness has been coming up for people in different signs even this year. And I think it has all to do with the fact that the year is a little bit lighter, I think, for people. I want to stress, on a global scale, on a political scale, if you care about those things, which I wouldn't even watch the news. I could care less personally, and it since I started not caring about all of that theater, my life got significantly better. I stopped caring, and it didn't affect me anymore. So this card's all about deciding what does make you happy and what doesn't. If it doesn't, cut it out. But like I keep telling people, people keep contacting me and saying, yeah, things aren't getting better. Look at what just happened in Paris and all this other stuff. But I keep reminding these people, listen, things on a personal level are getting better for people, but it has to do with personally. It has to do with our personal lives. Things on the global scale, I keep saying, not getting better till 2018, at least as far as I can see. That's really when I feel like a switch happens, when things start to move into a better direction. You're Libra. You know all about this balance. And, what's going on globally is it's like you see all these extremes. Everything's extreme. Even the terrorists, they're extremists. So it's this constant, balance, up and down, up and down. If you look at the politics, it's like they're just both so far on the either side. It's all about being extreme. That's what it is. But guess what? As we move through the years, it's gonna kind of balance back out. But again, it's gonna take some time. So don't look at the global stuff. Look at your personal life. And make that be what makes you happy. And things are going to be a lot better for people this year. And I think, again, that's why this happiness is kind of coming in for people. Next, you have the Seven of Diamonds. Fears about money. Fears that you don't need to have. This is things, worrying about things that aren't going to happen. Sometimes with the Seven of Diamonds, as I say, there can be things from the past that kind of rear their head here in the future, or that even just look kind of similar to something that happened to us in the past. And just know that those things no longer are going to happen. We're not going to have such bad things around money happen, and you'll be fine. You don't need to have those fears. Again, with this card, Seven of Diamonds, sometimes we can have $10 million in the bank, and we're still going to worry about money. We're still worrying about those old fears. This card asks you to think more positively, let go of those old fears that no longer serve us. Next, you have the Five of Hearts. all about birthing relationships, even. So a lot of you could be birthing relationships. I am getting that, sometimes this card is read as like jealousy at work, having something happen at work where somebody's jealous and it causes an issue. But just know that with the Five of Hearts, it's usually because you get recognized, or you get some sort of bonus that they didn't get. So it's that type of jealousy. Just ignore them. Don't listen to it. You don't need to. You don't need to engage in it. This card's also about mixing things up. If you are finding your life getting stagnant, so if you and this is really important. So for those of you Libras out there that are stuck, if you are stuck in your life and you're not moving forward, uh, the Five of Hearts asks you to do something different. It asks you to mix up your day. I bet you if you are stuck and you look at your life, you're probably on the hamster wheel just doing the same thing day in, day out. Five of Hearts comes in and says, hey, why don't you do some different stuff? Like do some different things. Even go, if you're just working and going home and working and going home, working and going home, take some time out to have some fun and to mix things up. That's what the Five of Hearts wants you to do. Five of Hearts loves to feel like it's moving forward. It loves to feel like it's moving in that forward direction, and that is kind of what it rewards. I'm going to do a whole video on this eventually about, a lot of people ask me what I say when I mean like what the card rewards. Well, all these cards kind of have like a little bit of a payoff, and there's something in the energy that they enjoy that the card wants for us, kind of. And so the Five of Hearts, again, is forward movement. It wants us to move forward. Again, that Six of Spades, all about forward momentum. So what can you do with the Five of Hearts? Say, you don't have any money, or, you're not making a lot of money and you want to move forward. Well, what can you do? I always tell people, start really super tiny. Do something small that's fun, that doesn't cost any money, and then it will build. Then the universe will be saying, okay, finally, they're moving forward. Now we can allow more money to come into their lives, or now we can allow love to come into their lives, whatever the case may be. And finally, you have the King of Spades. All about having been through a lot, dealt with a lot, gaining a certain level of maturity, card of mastery as well. So if you're learning a skill, this is going to be a great year for that. It's going to be a great year for those of you that are masters at your craft, that are really good at what you do, or that are very specific about what you do. King of Spades, though, also, he is very good at handling his reactions. He doesn't overreact to anything. It's because he's been through so much. So he's very good at kind of being real level-headed and making smart decisions about everything that he does. So you will kind of have those energies this year. And I think that's really nice for you. I think that will really allow for some good things to happen. So definitely embrace this energy. But all in all, it looks like a great year. So thank you for watching, and feel free to watch the other two videos, like I said, for Libra. And have a great year.